Welcome back to the Pach-Attack. All right, we got, I love these. Question from Twitter. You guys, this is the most challenging set of questions I've ever gotten. No kidding. From @Vitecchio. 67% of new IPs released in 2007 spawned a series. Wow. Where do we get these stats? Will the same happen for Gen 8 consoles in their third year? Okay. 2007 was the second year for the PS3 and the Wii, in case you weren't able to count. Counting skills are tough. Third year for the Xbox 360. 2014 is the third year of the cycle for the Wii U, and it's the second year for the Xbox One and PS4. Okay. When you say 67% of new IPs released in 2007, I don't actually know how many new IPs were released, so if it was 3 and 2 spawned a series, then BFD, that's not a valid sample size. I would submit to you that anything fewer than 30 is an invalid sample size, and it is highly unlikely there were 45 new IPs released in 2007. So it's highly unlikely that 30 out of 45 spawned a new series. My guess is when you say 67 with specificity, that the number was something divisible by 3, like 3 or 6 or 9 new IPs, so it was 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, I can do the math right, 2/3, whatever the hell it was. 2 or 4 or 6 were series. Who cares? The answer is no, the same won't happen. The number of new IPs launched this year that will become series, the percentage will be different from 67%. I predict that with confidence, okay? Whatever it is, it's gonna be different from 67%. It might be 68 and it might be 66, but it's gonna be different, God damn it. This is how I do my work. Okay, so secret into like the Pach-Attack and how he does his work for all you fellow babies out there. My stoned dad here is laughing. For all you fellow babies out there, look, you can't look at the past as a predictor of the future with specificity. You can look at the past as guidance for what should happen in the future. So the answer is most new IPs spawn a series. You just happen to pick one year and it was 67%. It's probably always greater than 50. It's probably new IPs probably have a 2 out of 3 hit rate, and 2 out of 3 become a series, and that's probably about right. And some years it'll be 80%, some years it'll be 50, but on average it's probably about 67%. I don't think the year 2007 was extra special. I don't think being the second or third year of a next generation matters. I think that 2 out of 3 new IPs spawn a series. I think every new IP launched is intended to spawn a series. So I think that, you know, by design, the publishers want a franchise. Watch Dogs is a new IP this year. You know, Evolve, I had to think, I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Evolve is a new IP this year. I'm pretty confident those 2 games, Destiny is a new IP this year, Titanfall is a new IP this year. I think those, how many did I name? 4? Those 4 games, there's no way that anybody making those 4 games was one and done. There's no way that they plan to make Destiny and be done with it after this year, or Evolve and be done with it after this year, or Titanfall. Well, Titanfall's already out. It's already uber successful. I'm pretty confident we're going to see a Titanfall 2. They've already said it won't be Xbox exclusive, so we know it's coming out. You know, we'll see. Maybe Evolve doesn't work, and maybe Destiny does work, and Watch Dogs works, and this year it'll be 75%. You know, and I'm sure there are other new IPs. Point is that every one of them is intended to be. This year, it wouldn't surprise me if all of them are, you know, because I think the studios make fewer and fewer titles every year, developers and publishers, because the risk is so great of failure. But the answer is yes, you will see the vast majority of new IPs spawn sequels. Yes, that's because it's by design, and no, it has nothing to do with the third year of the generation or the second year, depending on your perspective. All right, from the forums, we have a question from T. Condor. Dear Supreme Overlord Pachter, in 2012, the Curia, the Court of Justice of the European Union, Gee, I'm really glad I learned that. I've never heard of that before, nor do I care. Has ruled secondhand sales of digital goods legal. Why is it that I can't sell any digital games on any platform? Did the court make it only possible to resell these digital goods and not urge companies like Valve, Microsoft, Sony, etc. to do so? Okay, again, I don't know. But I remember when this happened, and you can say that selling a digital copy is legal, but you can't compel the person who grants a digital license to allow that license to be transferred. So if you bought something and you own it, and the end user agreement says, by downloading this copy, you own it, then absolutely you can resell it. I suggest that you read your end user license agreement, because the operative term there, I'm using that a lot today, operative term, is the L in EULA. It is a license agreement. It is not a sale agreement. It would be called USA instead of EULA if it was a sale. You didn't buy digital shit. You licensed digital rights, and your license very clearly states, and I am making this up because I haven't read one on digital games in a while, it says you have the right to play this game on this device only, and only under the account that downloaded the game, period. That's what it says. And it says you may not transfer this license to any other party. You may not copy this licensed content to any other device. And guess what? That's how your iTunes license works. That's how any download, if you watch a video on demand or download a movie, it's exactly how it works. That's how games work. Why would the publishers do anything else? Why would they want to sell it once and have many people play the game? They don't want that. They want every person who plays their game to pay them. Guess what? The movie studios want every single person who watches their movie to pay $10 in a movie theater. They really don't want to sell it any other way. They just accept reality that, you know, a year later they have to put it on DVD, 6 to 9 months later, and a year after that they have to put it on HBO or a premium service. Nobody wants to sell one copy of a game and have everybody in the world resell it. That doesn't make them any money. This is a profit deal. They're trying to make money. They want to sell the same thing as many times as possible. So when you download it, they're going to limit your rights to resell it. And so who cares what Curia said? They can say it's legal. It's legal, except if the contract says it's not. If the contract says it's not, you can't resell it because you don't own it. You can sell stuff you own. You can't sell stuff you don't own. Okay? So let me give you a really simple real-world example. You go to Hertz Rent-A-Car and you rent a car. Are you allowed to sell it to somebody? Because you don't own it. You licensed it for a week or a day or an hour. Get it? All right, fellow babies, thanks for joining us on this week's Pach-Attack. If you have any questions, please direct them to the link below. And if you have a question for Twitter, you can submit them directly to me at Michael Pachter on Twitter and include the hashtag AskPach. Thanks for joining us. I don't think that was very complicated. All right.